Hello, this is CS-Masyet, and this is part 2 of my Blender Brothers guide. Now, before we start, I'd like to mention, that I had to, lower the volume a bit, because I noticed it was too loud last time, apparently, which is really surprising since it was at 40% before, and I lowered it to 30. Which, to give you, like, an example, like, how low that is, I record Worldling at 55%. And that's a game I complain like the battle music is really loud, so I'm really surprised this game is that loud, honestly. And at the same time, I don't want to lower it too much because I really like the music in this game, but I don't want it to be too loud that you can't hear me talk, so hopefully this is low enough because I really don't want to lower it anymore. So anyways, let's get on to the second part of the Blender Brothers guide, which is pretty much just me explaining the Mini Bros. Part 6, Mini Bros. Finally, arguably the most interesting part of this game, the Mini Bros. You start with one, and can get more by finding them scattered throughout different areas of the game, or by evolving them. To evolve a Mini Bros, play music with the discs you bought at the shop. Which music you should play may not be obvious, so you may waste some discs when trying to evolve a Mini Bros. Fortunately, the game will tell you which music won't work on a Mini Bros once you've tried it at least once, even if you're trying it on another one of the same kind of Mini Bros a second time. So you won't have to worry about wasting the same music discs on one Mini Bros over and over again if you end up forgetting which music they don't like. In the case of Mini Bros with 3-stage evos, it'll remember what discs do work as well. If a Mini Bros isn't capable of evolving, or can't evolve further, the game will stop you and will tell you that you can't evolve it. To get back Mini Bros you lost, from evolving them, simply go back to the area you found it in before, or in the case of 3-stage Mini Bros, find its pre-evo and evolve it the same way you did before. Keep in mind that it's impossible to have two of the same Mini Bros at once, even for evolving purposes. Which means that they won't ever respawn before you evolve them, and you can't evolve a first stage Mini Bros into a third stage if you already have its second stage. You'll have to evolve the second stage to the third stage, then evolve the first stage to the second stage, then go back and get the first stage again if you want to have all three at once. This method is important to remember because it's one of the things you need to do in order to get Chrono War, the last Mini Bros. You need to have obtained every single other Mini Bros in the game first, and I don't mean you have had every Mini Bros at least once. You need to have all of them at the same time, even if that means having ones with redundant abilities. Now that I'm done explaining all that, I'll now tell you about all the Mini Bros, how to obtain them, and what they can do. Malin. She can be found in Oasis's third area. She evolves into Pollen by playing the Classic CD, and can evolve further into Melon by playing Pollen the Reggae CD. Malin's ability is the Heal Blender. She heals 1 HP per recharge bar. Malin's bar takes 30 seconds to recharge. When she evolves into Pollen, this is reduced to 20 seconds, and when she evolves into Melon, it's reduced to 10 seconds. Each one only heals 1 HP. Yeah, even though Malin isn't the first Mini Bros you obtain, it's first in the Mini Bros list for whatever reason. Anyways, from the few LPs I've seen, the Malin line seems to be a popular favorite among other people, but I personally don't think they're all that useful. Sure, they're technically infinite use, but even Melon's recharge time is too long in my opinion, given how short each area is and the abundance of swap pads in later levels. Malin is especially bad since she's tied with freaking Chrono War and having the slowest recharge time at 30 whole seconds. Even when playing 3-heart only runs of this game, I think there are a lot better options. Knuckle. He's the one you start out with at the beginning of the game. He can also be found in First Heaven's second area. You can find him above a really high up platform, which requires Byo-Yo to reach. He evolves into Backle by playing the Reggae CD, and further into Buckle by playing Backle the Rock CD. Knuckles' ability is to assist Blender, by increasing the range in which he can attack things. The more Knuckle evolves, the greater his range becomes, even helping Blender attack things from behind. The starting line of the game, that for some reason isn't at the beginning of the list. Well, whatever. Personally, I like using Knuckle the most when playing the game. It's very reliable given you're pretty much always able to use it, and it has no recharge time or limited uses either. And of course, you're able to get it very early in the game. Oh yeah, by the way, the Knuckle line can help you attack things in unexpected situations, like when drilling downward, flying, or even when you're swimming in water. Even though Blender himself can't in the latter two situations, which is pretty neat. Blonde. You can find it in Diva's third area. You can evolve Blonde into Silva by playing at the Rock CD, and can evolve Silva into Goldo by playing at the Classic CD. Blonde's ability is to put up a shield around Blender, which prevents him from getting hit from an enemy or an obstacle once. Silva's and Goldo's abilities are the same, the only difference being that the recharge time is less than Blonde's. Blonde's recharge time is 20 seconds, Silva's is 10, and Goldo's is 5. The Barrier Line, aka the line that's pretty much the reason I never bother ever using the Mullen line. I mean, why bother having something to heal hearts when you can have something that prevents you from losing hearts in the first place? Not to mention Goldo's recharge time is only 5 seconds, half that of Melon. If I'm ever in an area where I know I won't have to fight anything, this is the one I almost always use. Neon can be found in Sheltarl. Neon's ability is to light up dark areas of the game. Like, for example, this room here. Neon's effect lasts for about 15 seconds, and the recharge time for its bar is 7 seconds. Neon, the mini-bros with a weird recharge time, and the only mini-bros actually required to beat the game. You'll need this one to get through the dark areas of Sheltarl and other areas in the game. Also, another rather interesting piece of trivia regarding Neon. Apparently, it's described as a female in the instruction booklet, but in the game, its evolution, Yubi, is described with male pronouns. I don't get it either. Biyoyo can be found in Fog's first area, right above its end goal. Biyoyo's ability is to act as a vertical platform that Blender can ride on, which is required to reach some certain important items in the game. Biyoyo's ability lasts 5 seconds, and its recharge time is 10 seconds. One of the most useful mini-bros in the game, Biyoyo helps Blender in a rather unique way. Instead of helping him in combat, he helps you reach high up areas instead. You need Biyoyo to obtain things that would normally be impossible without his help, like Knuckle or the Golden Hot Dog. Puape can be found in Oasis's first area. Puape's ability is to act as a platform that Blender can ride on while in water, which has no recharge time. The first obtainable mini-bros in the game, and is one of the few mini-bros with unlimited uses and no recharge meter. However, since there aren't that many water areas in this game, it isn't actually all that useful, which is a shame because I think its ability is kind of interesting. While Puape may not be all that great, its evolution... Spish can be found in Fog's third area. Spish's ability is to give Blender a speed boost attack that damages foes for a little while. It lasts 5 seconds and takes 10 seconds to recharge. In other words, this lets Blender use that ability that he normally can only get from touching those shoe symbol things, which is pretty neat. This is actually one of the more useful mini-bros, which makes it so unfortunate that it isn't obtainable until very late in the game. Fighting some bosses, even the later ones, with this mini-bros is pretty fun though. Gallia can be found in Militar's third area. You can either get up to the platform where Gallia is found by climbing up this bar here, or by going up this way with Biyoyo. Gallia's ability is to create a bubble around Blender that makes him completely invincible for a while. It lasts 5 seconds and takes 10 seconds to recharge. Pretty much a more useful version of Goldo. Unfortunately, like Spish, it's a late game mini-bros, so you'll barely get any chance to use it. One of the few that can't evolve at all. Bonbo can be found in Cosmo Heaven's first area. To reach him, you need to use Biyoyo. Bonbo's ability is to create an explosion attack that damages all foes on screen for 1 HP. You can use it up to 5 times in one stage or per mini bro swap. The latest obtainable mini bros, excluding Chrono War. And it's obtainable in your home base of Cosmo Heaven. I don't get it either. Anyways, for late game mini bros, its ability isn't all that great actually. At least it has a lot of limited uses. Like Gallia, it can't evolve. Booyan. You can get it by evolving Bioyo with a Rock CD. Its ability is to split up into 4 and surround Blender in a circle, damaging any enemy that touches the circle. It lasts 5 seconds and takes 15 seconds to recharge. Evolves from Bioyo. Having a mini bros that surrounds you and damages enemies sounds really interesting, which makes it a real shame Booyan is so bad. It's too slow, its recharge time is too slow, and its ability doesn't last long enough. What could have been an interesting alternative to Banuckle just ended up being a disappointment. Yubi can be obtained by evolving Neon with a Reggae CD. Its ability is to call an ally that will heal Blender for 1 HP, 2 HP, or all HP if Blender loses all his health. It can only be used once per stage or mini bro swap. Evolves from Neon. Acts like a fairy in Zelda pretty much, with luck involved. Being revived with only 1 HP may not seem all that great, but the fact that it can revive at all is pretty nice, especially since it's the only thing in this game that can do something like that. While I never bother with Yubi anymore, I used to use it all the time when fighting bosses I found to be really tough. If you're also having trouble with some bosses in this game, I'd recommend giving Yubi a try at least once, especially if you're going to do a 3-heart run, as that is at least a 1/3 health revive. Also, for some reason, the game tells you that you can use its ability early by pressing R, even though you can't. It's an auto effect only. Ice You. You can obtain it by evolving Spish with a Rock CD. Its ability is to use an ice attack that does 2 damage to foes. It can be used 3 times in one stage or per mini bro swap. Evolves from Spish. This one is unique. Yeah, that works. It's the only mini bros that can do more than 1 damage to anything at once, which is interesting, I guess. And since it gets to use its ability 3 times, it technically is able to do more damage to foes than any other limited use mini bros, even Bonbo and Sayubi. But that doesn't mean it's super useful. Remember, it can only be used 3 times, so unless you find a swap pad somewhere, it's completely useless afterward. Also, that ice attack description doesn't really mean much, as elemental attacks aren't really a thing in this game, and it doesn't actually freeze anything. It just does raw damage. Also, since it evolves from Spish, you get it late in the game, too. It does a lot of damage in a short amount of time, though, so it's not completely useless, but it's super situational. Sayupi. You can obtain it by evolving Puwape with a classic CD. Its ability is to damage one enemy, and then turn that damage into health for Blender. You can use up to 5 times per stage or mini bro swap. Evolves from Puwape. This one is arguably one of the most overpowered mini bros in the game, and since it evolves from Puwape, you can get it really early in the game too. With its numerous uses, you can destroy even bosses with ease, without having to worry about any damage taken in the process. Not to mention, since it has no recharge bar, it can even be a more reliable healer than the Malin line. Unsurprisingly, because of how useful it is, this one is another one of my favorites. Chrono War, the last mini bros, can only be obtained after getting every single other mini bros in the game. Chrono War can be found in a random location that normally doesn't have a mini bros in it. So, for example, this level here, and this one here. Chrono War's location is completely random depending on your save file. Its ability is to stop time for everything but Blender for a short time. It lasts 5 seconds and takes 30 seconds to recharge. I confirmed that it can appear in Oasis 2, Cosmo Heaven 3, Fog 2, and Militar 1. Excluding the last one, you'll have a lot of difficulty obtaining it without Bioyo's help. Also, by this logic, you should be able to find Chrono War in Diva 1 and Militar 2 as well, but I've never confirmed this, so don't take my word for it. You can use the search ears to find it just like the other mini bros. The last obtainable mini bro is in the game, and it's an interesting one. It isn't super useful, unfortunately, given that its ability only lasts 5 seconds and takes a whopping 30 seconds to recharge. Its ability is pretty unique, so you could have some fun with it, I guess. And since you can technically get it before the final boss, it may be able to help you with that as well. Although I personally wouldn't recommend it. Give it a try if you want to, though. And with that, everything about the mini bros and everything else about the game has been talked about. That should be everything. I'm finally done. This took over 2.5 hours and 41 parts to record. I never ever want to do this again in my life. But I'm glad I did it, because I think, or at least I hope, this helps people learn more about this game. Because I want a lot more people to know about this game, because I know a lot of people don't. And now I've covered everything in these 2 videos. I have no idea how long this one is going to be, and I don't really give a shit, honestly. Next is just the LP, which will be a lot of fun, concerning I'm not really going to have to explain things now. I can just play the game and have fun and not have to take forever explaining shit. Man, you have no idea how much work I did preparing for this and recording and stuff, because the time the videos are going to be will not even be close to reflecting the time it took to record and to make the script and shit. So obviously this video will be uploaded today or tomorrow or whatever. No idea when I'm going to upload the written version. As I said, I'm going to do that at some point. I don't know when, though, when I have time. Which is never low, but yeah, I'll try and time sometime to do it. So, until I record next Blender Bros or World Link video, whatever. Bye, I guess. Till next time I actually LP the game. See ya. And I hope this guide was helpful. Sure hope so, because it took forever to make anyways. Bye.